What's going on, world? This is your girl, Marky Lemons-Ryhal, and we're always talking about social selling. And sometimes you come across people and you already know that they are going to provide you with more information than you can digest in one sitting. And I happen to know that to be a fact for the person who we're going to talk to today. In our pre-call, we talked about all the things that give me goosebumps, that makes me feel warm and fuzzy all over. Thank you for being here today, James. What's going on?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm elated. I want to, just kind of dive right in because you said so many great things and basically putting all these things together in a system. But you said the one thing that I think oftentimes people in the world of real estate overlook, and that is all about data. So we have all this information, right, that's being
Yes.
thrown at us. As a real estate professional, what should I be looking at? I got stuff coming to me, emails, text messages, all this great stuff and a lot of numbers. What should I be focused on?
Absolutely. So as a real estate agent, whether you are an audience that's just starting the real estate business or a veteran in the business, there's just going to be a lot of hype right now on the internet that goes into social media and paid ads and so SEO and the different terminologies that as real estate agents we kind of don't have a complete grasp on it. But we all know, the market is shifting and shifting very quickly, and it's all about data and technology and social media. Marky, at the end of the day, nothing changes about the concept of connecting with people and delivering on what their needs are. Right. So the most important thing is to keep in mind as a real estate agent, we have to connect with people and build relationships. Right. And then be a matcher. So like if I'm working with buyers and or sellers, I need to match them together. Right. So if I have a buyer, I need to match them with a seller. If I have a seller, I need to match them with a buyer. So at the end of the day, it's demand and supply, right? A problem and a solution. So when we're talking about all these data and technology and the tools, the toolbox that we have to keep in mind that at the end of the day, we're about to build the relationships and connect people with what they need, right? So everybody's in business. And to succeed in today's business, you must build and execute successful strategies for generating online traffic and high quality leads, right? Don't you agree?
Yes.
So everybody wants to know, okay, what do I do in terms of generating traffic, and then how can I convert that traffic into high quality leads and then shift into automation to converting those leads into customers. So you can uniquely position your brand as a real estate professional in the business by addressing your audience's pain points and solving their challenges and meeting their expectations. And this is where my forte comes in, right? You really have to have concise strategy with a step-by-step that really puts your business as a unique kind of a real estate business. So what I would like to touch on is data. How can you actually start filling up your database, right? Everybody talks about database, and the first step to that is data. And when we talk about data, how can you leverage that data in building your database? And so the first thing is sourcing the data. We talk about, okay, so when you determine your audience, who do you want to work with? Buyers, sellers, FSBOs. The first step is to source the data, find out the source. So I go into companies like maybe Remind. This is a part of your MLS to source buyers and sellers. Vulcan 7. We can source data from audience.ai. So the very first step is really sourcing the data. Okay. And then when you source the data, you want to kind of clean the data and make sure you're working with the right kind of people.
Okay. So my MLS, I'm in Chicago. We actually have Remind, which is a predictive analytics tool. Because they've been making so many updates to their platform, our MLS has a Remind course 1 to 2 times every single day. And I think one of the things I like about Remind is its ability to predict highly motivated sellers in any given marketplace. So I'm going to go into Remind, right? And I'm going to clean the data up because I don't want to sell everywhere, right?
Right.
So you want me to clean some of this? I don't need it all.
Correct.
Okay.
So what you're doing with Remind is you're basically leveraging technology, which is the predictive analytics part of Remind, in order to only connect with those who are in need to buy or sell. So they have the sell score. You find people that are more likely to sell, and you match them with buyers, or you find the people that are more likely to buy, and you match them with sellers. So if I was a real estate agent, back to your asking the question that you asked, and how do I just take all this in, right? So what I was trying to say is don't let it all bother you. Just focus on building relationships and matching, and do that strategically by leveraging data and technology. So by going to Remind or Prospect Now or Audience.ai, one of these technologies, right? So what you're doing is you're taking data, and then you're leveraging that data to go after your target audience. So if your target audience are sellers, in that case, Marky, you're looking at the sell score of the data that you're extracting from Remind, and you're going after only the potential sellers that could be selling in the next less than 12 months, right? So that's how Remind kind of structures their algorithms. They're looking for people who are more likely to sell in the next 12 months. So what you want to do is match them with buyers. But if I'm an audience and I'm just starting out in the real estate, I may not even have buyers. So if I'm going after the sellers, right, and I want to kind of go to present them, I have to have a reason to connect with those sellers, right? And then it could be something like, hey, I'm a real estate agent and I have a buyer that fits your kind of listing. Would you like to talk about potentially, connecting and perhaps selling your house? And that's kind of like, you want to go in armed with something, right? Whether it's your expertise, whether it's your buyers, your database, or your network. So you have to have something of a value that connects you with whoever you're going after. So if you're going after a seller, they're interested in buyers. So if you come in as a real estate agent with nothing, they're probably not going to want to work with you. So if you come in with saying, I have buyers, then they're more likely to talk to you.
I was on a talk show the other day, and we were talking about the shortage in inventory in a lot of the marketplaces. And what I've encouraged people to do is to go into the different tools like Remind, where they're doing a direct mail campaign to homeowners. And it's okay if you do a for sale by owner, especially if you represent the buyer, because the buyer is the client. So you don't want to put the buyers in competition.
Right, of course.
Right, with other potential buyers. And Remind to me is a great tool to use when you have buyers and they're not seeing any inventory, to basically find properties on behalf of the buyer client. And you could do a for sale by owner with compensation agreement with that seller. We're not leveraging these tools, and we're not doing direct mail pieces. And in order to secure listings, you can also, still come back and implement those direct mail pieces. So that was just a conversation we just had. I'm like, look, I think we need to start doing direct mail with Facebook ads over those areas where we know there's a shortage, but we have buyers who are looking in those areas.
Absolutely, I agree. See, a lot of real estate agents also kind of getting away from the traditional market, like you were saying, the direct mail, and getting into this Facebook ads and Instagram ads, and they're dabbling with different online strategies, which is not wrong. I mean, it's right, but it's just, here's a concept that I always coach my clients on. You need to be omnipresent. And what I mean by that is you need to be everywhere. So let's say I'm a real estate agent and I'm working the Chicago downtown area, right? So I'm farming that. I go into Remind, I pull a list of, 1,000 homes in that area, right? So what I want to do, I want those 1,000 homes or 2,000 people, right? Let's say husband and wife, to know who Mark is as a real estate agent. Right, so you could do that in different ways. You could do direct mail campaigns. You can do Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google, whatever strategy you want to pursue. The goal is to get yourself out there, right? But at the end of the day, it's not about us; it's about the client. So what you're talking about, lack of inventory. So lack of inventory now is irrelevant because there's always business out there. And if you may not have a deal now, but you may have a deal 6 months, but you got to farm that area, right? So omnipresence is doing direct mail, doing Facebook, doing Instagram, doing Google, doing prospecting, outreach. So all of these different strategies need to be in place. And top real estate agents, what they do like Zillow Premier Agent, and they do direct mail, and then they do Facebook ads. So they never have one strategy in place, because if one falls short, they have something else that backs it up. And that's what top producers always have. That is common. They always have multiple strategies to build that momentum, right? So direct mail is one of them, and Remind is a great platform, and there's many others out there that you could, I mean, as simple as calling a title agent and getting the list of homes, you know, that fits some type of a profile that could potentially be a potential seller, that high interest rate or mortgage is about to adjust, or, you know, you could go into the mortgage kind of properties to build a list that you want to farm. But obviously predictive analytics with Remind is absolute better strategy to do that. So just pick a strategy and stick to it, right? Whether it's direct mail, whether it's Facebook, and whether it's other different strategies, just pick one or two and stick to them and be consistent. And that will eventually get the momentum built. But what I want to touch on is you take that list of property addresses, right? Or the potentially people that potentially sell from Remind. And what often agents do is take it and they stop farming it right away. And I recommend against that. So what you want to do, you want to take that property, the list of properties, and you want to send direct mail to that list. That's great. But then what you want to do, you want to have a VA or an ISA append, meaning that find these people's email addresses or phone numbers. And then what you want to do is you want to also take another strategy and get a hold of these people, because if they don't take your postcard, right, you don't want to just lose that potential seller. You also want to try to connect with them on a different level, whether it's via text, whether it's via social media. So what I do is recommend direct mail, and then go find their emails and maybe shoot out email campaigns to them. If you find their mobile phone numbers, send out text messages, and also use video of that text message. So you hold your phone up, record yourself. Hey, this is Marky, a real estate agent in your area. I have a potential buyer that could fit your home. I'm looking for sellers. If you are interested in selling in the next 6 to 12 months, please let me know. And then you shoot that text out or email out via video. At the end of the day, you're using these tools to connect with these people.
Okay. So direct mail, you have your IA do that for you, and you get direct mail. So they're getting a mailing address. They're finding you the email address for your email marketing campaigns. And then if you're going to send a text message, if you found their mobile number, then you should add a video to that text messaging system.
Exactly.
Okay.
And social media. So you can find them on social media. So data, what you do is you append data. You use services like Data 24/7, and you find from the addresses and the people you get from Remind, you can find their emails and phone numbers and social media information.
Oh, from Data 24/7?
Yes.
Okay. Is that .com?
Data247.com, correct.
Okay.
So what you're doing as a real estate agent, you're pulling that list as just addresses and people's like first name and last name, right? Mm-hmm. And you're using third-party services to append data to it, finding their emails, phone numbers, and social media. And you're doing that just so you can connect with them. And you're using your whether expertise, your database of buyers or sellers, if you're going after buyers, to match these sellers with buyers and vice versa. And you're using text, video, email, social media, and direct mail to obviously reach out to those people and connect with them. What's something of that?
Okay. So multiple touch points.
Absolutely.
You touch them more times, you're more likely to do business. We are appealing to their visual, audio, and tactile, right?
Exactly.
And I think the stat from NAR was that 67% of people do business with the first real estate agent they come in contact with.
Absolutely, I agree. And they usually don't look anymore once they have that real estate agent. They stop researching.
Okay, so we've made the connection, but then I know that earlier you and I talked about nurturing.
Correct.
So we make that initial connection. We've made it through multiple mediums. How do we now go into, we've made the contact, we got the read receipts, we know if you open the email and all that. How do we then start to nurture that relationship?
Right. So first of all, I want to talk about the different types of nurturing programs that you might want to put in place, right? Okay. So let's say you connected with people, you sent out, like, you introduced yourself, you told them your values, they seem to be somewhat interested, they may not seem to be somewhat interested. At the end of the day, you have to look at your database and try to segment the different people within your database, right? So what I would recommend is not having one nurturing programs to everyone in your database, right? Someone you just connected with today is different than a past client you've had in your database in the last 2 years. So what you want to do, you want to have different nurturing programs. And I start my new clients with 3 kind of groups, the A, B, and C, or cold, warm, and hot, right? And we build 3 different nurturing programs for the 3 segments, the cold leads, the warm leads, and the hot leads. So what we do is we use video, and then we translate that video, transcribe that video into text content. And then that content is put in place in order to move people from being strangers to becoming leads, cold, warm, and hot, and then to become opportunities, deals, and then transactions, closed transactions. So you want to have a kind of a funnel that goes from the top to the middle and then the bottom of the funnel. And the top of the funnel is basically you're sourcing the leads from whichever platform you want, let's say Remind, and then you're using multiple touch points in order to try to connect with them. And once these people start responding, you want to kind of like start putting them into different groups, right? So if somebody's not interested anytime soon or in the next 12 months, you probably want to kind of put that out, purge them out of the funnel. If someone is interested from anytime below 3 months, then that's an A group. 3 months to 6 months, maybe B group, 12 months and more, that's a C group, or 6 months to 12 months, that's a C group. And then you'd build 3 different nurturing drip campaigns for each one of those groups. So if you're dealing with sellers and somebody's looking to sell in the next 0 to 3 months, you might want to touch those people at least 2 or 3 times a week, right? If somebody's selling between 3 to 6 months, maybe once a week or twice a week max. And then 6 to 12 months, you want to touch those people maybe once every 2 weeks or once a month, or twice a month, basically.
Okay.
And then you're taking the content and you're building it based on their needs, right? So if it's a buyer, whether you're serving the dream home listings in the area or sellers that looking for buyers. So based on the needs, I mean, the real estate agents obviously would know what to write and what to send to them. But the way it's usually effective is by video. So like, hey, Mr. Seller, here's a few potential ways for us to sell your home. Here's potential tools that we can use for marketing, so on and so forth, in a video, and then you attach it in the email. And then this way you're building value, you're offering value, you're building credibility with those potential sellers, right? So you're giving them something of value, but it's personalized because it's in a video. You don't have to say the name in the video. Hey, I just have these different tools for you, checking them out, and you attach the video. You can use boom in the video and then send it out in an email, and then you can repurpose that into a text as well. So you can send the video and a text to these sellers. Again, on social media, you can send it on social media. So if they don't open the email, they get the text. If you don't have their phone numbers, you could probably find them on social media and send them that video on social media via a direct message. So the key is to really get your value out there to your audience.
So a couple of questions. Do you have a preferred tool for your audio to text transcription?
Do, do I have a platform?
Yeah, do you have a preferred tool that you use for your audio to text transcription?
Uh, I do, but I think it's in my tactics. I have a whole bunch of different lists for
Yes.
different platforms.
Oh, I got
I
you.
don't remember the name exactly, but uh, if you go on dominate.realestate, which is my website, and
Mhm.
download the tactics inside my inside on the website, there's a whole bunch of different tools that we use in doing so. I have my team doing this, so I don't really know all the platforms, but they're all in the tactics document that can be downloaded off dominate.realestate.
Do you have a preferred video email platform?
Yeah, boom boom,
Okay.
boom boom. Yeah.
Yep, and they're really good. I've used them in the past, and they also have a really good mobile application.
Absolutely.
So you can also do it from your mobile device. One of the strategies you mentioned, which I love, you can create the video without saying the person's name,
Correct.
and so you make it general. Hey, how you doing today? I have some great tips for you, right? Without mentioning their name. And what was kind of funny, someone recently mentioned to me they record the same video different times. So one would be nighttime, so they can have like the night, one is daytime, one is snow, one is cloud, right? But it's the same dang on video, so that when they send the video, it looks like that time of day outside, which is a little bit
This is a
excessive.
great, yeah, this is a great tactic that it looks like you just recorded the video and you sent it out in that same time, and that's usually
Yes.
sent via text message. So absolutely a great recommendation, because you want to do that as like you just recorded and send it out. 100%.
Okay.
That's a great hack.
Do you have any recommendations on content? Because realtors have a like it seems like content is the hardest thing for them to come up with. And I'm like, but you do this every single day. You get questions every single day. You're solving problems. Solve the problems of the questions that are being asked the most time. But
Absolutely.
is there outside of that, is there any other content that you're seeing that would resonate with people?
You know, people always want to know what's new, what's trending, what kind of information that could help me out, and based on really where they are in the life cycle. So let's say if somebody is in a very the top of the funnel, kind of still not really connected with or ready to make a move now, they're interested in informative content, like guides, things to look for, the top tips to watch for. So anything that's informational would work for that type of audience. If somebody is in the middle of the funnel, someone that's looking to, let's say, sell in the next 3 to 6 months or buy, they want to know more about the transaction. Hey, like, how does this work? You know, how does the process work? So what am I kind of getting myself into? Because there's a lot of people that don't know the terminologies. You know, they don't know what escrow does and the title company and all these different things, and they get overwhelmed. And as a real estate agent, we know all this, and we live it day by day. So to us, it's second nature. But to a lot of people, they have no idea what these things do and mean, right? Whether it's like warn against like wire fraud. That's something, you know, you can send an email on that, and it kind of opens their eyes, the audience's eyes, and say, oh wow, okay, I didn't know this. So when they have aha moments, like, oh wow, okay, I didn't know this. This is where they see you build credibility and see you very valuable. So focus on content that your friend that has nothing to do with real estate would kind of not know, and you would provide that value. Just like you were sit in a network meeting and they ask these different questions about real estate, like you touched on. Answer those questions in content and send it out in an automated emails, like a drip campaign. So build it. So if you're talking to someone, back to our story, in the middle of the funnel, and they don't know how the process works, go through it one by one. Like, here's how the application starts. Here's how the next step. So always kind of tell them what the next step, and that's how we build the drip campaign. We walk them through it, the steps that they are going to be taking. So now when they're ready, we don't have to go and explain that. We already kind of taught them how the process works ahead of time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. Okay. You're pulling. I love that. Okay. So we have the campaigns that we're nurturing, right? Would you consider nurturing and follow up the same, or would you separate those?
No, they're different. So you would want to have a nurturing strategy that's automated, and you want to have a follow-up strategy that's not automated. The follow-up strategy could be, your ISA follow. Well, I mean, before that, right? So you want to qualify your audience. So you want someone that sets appointments, someone that qualifies, someone that sets appointments, and for you as a real estate agent to go out on appointments, right? So if I'm a real estate agent and I'm doing all of that myself and I'm starting out, then I have to have a nurturing process in place, and I have to have my own follow-up process in place for those that are more likely to convert. I want to be able to get on the phone and talk to them. Even if I don't have anything to say, you might want to check with them and follow up with them. And every phone call, I have to set up the next phone call, right? Or the next follow-up strategy. It could be like a DM on Instagram, or a Facebook message, or a LinkedIn message, right? Or a text, or a video via text, or a phone call. So all these tactics are follow-up kind of techniques, right? So what I want to do, I want to have a nurturing process that goes out, and I want to have in that nurturing campaign online that sends me a reminder that something went out to that customer. Because when you're building a campaign, right, let's say you have 500 people in your database, so the email is not going to all 500. Let's say it went out to 20 today, or 30 tomorrow, so on and so forth. So based on where they are in the life cycle, I need reminders on who is getting touched, and then I want to pick up the phone and say, hey, I sent you an email about an hour ago, and I'm just following up to make sure you got it, and if you have any questions for me to answer. Or I sent you a text, and I just want to make sure you got it. And so you, based on whatever your nurturing campaign is in place, you want to have a follow-up tactic that makes others feel that you're actually there connecting with them personally. Because a lot of people know nowadays that all these emails and the different kind of communication tactics are automated. So when you get an email, okay, this is probably set and just went out on their own, right? But when someone actually picks up on the phone and calls you and say, hey, I actually sent you an email, do you have any questions on the subject, whatever that went out, then there's a personal touch there, and that is valuable.
So let me get this straight. We have a couple of different nurturing campaigns going on.
Correct.
In that nurturing campaign, people enter, you have, they enter at their own rate, right? Their own speed.
Right.
So three enter today, 5 might enter tomorrow, wherever they enter, okay? So then every single day, you're receiving an email. Let's say it's at the third point in each of these nurturing. Correct. So that means that tomorrow you might get an email that says call 12 people. And the next day it might be call 1 person.
Correct.
So you have the different campaigns that are flowing. I don't know, we could say they flow this way. And at this point in the road, you physically pick the phone up, or you do something.
Absolutely.
Where that person knows it's not automated as they're traveling through this cycle.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. So if you're a seasoned real estate agent, you would have maybe your ISA doing the follow-up. But if you're starting out, you're probably doing all the follow-up. So it also depends on whether it's you that's actually picking up the phone or someone on your team. But somebody has to pick up the phone, connect with these people. Because if they're early in the process, you're trying to get them to become kind of semi-ready, right? And you're qualifying them. And then if they're qualified or somewhat qualified, you're trying to set the appointment. And if the appointment is set, obviously you're going on appointments, and you're following up on the appointments and making sure you're getting the signed contract, the documents. So whatever the follow-up process, someone on the team, whether it's you as a real estate agent or someone on your team, has to do the follow-up. And the follow-up varies based on where they are in the life cycle. But at the end of the day, you have to kind of walk them through from top to middle to bottom, or cold, warm, and hot.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, a team doesn't necessarily mean a bunch of agents who are working on my behalf. A team is a support staff to the agent or to the team that doesn't actively sell, but helps facilitate relationships with people who are ready, willing, and able to buy and sell real estate.
Correct.
Okay.
So as if I was a real estate agent starting out, I may be, limited on budget to hire a team or to have an office. If I'm starting out, because we have to talk to the different audience, right? So if I'm starting out, I'm probably doing all this on my own, and it could be overwhelming, right? So to start out, I could be buying leads and doing all the follow-up myself. And I as a real estate agent, I wouldn't even know which CRM to use or what nurturing funnels and all these different terminologies mean, right? So if that's you listening to this, you just have to keep in mind that you're doing all these different things to really connect with people. So don't let it overwhelm you. Just get on the phone and connect with the right people. And then make sure you're following up via email, text, and social media, and be personal with people, right? Because at the end of the day, it's you that they want to talk to. It's you that they want to connect with. It's you that they want to find out that you're an expert, that you're going to be able to sell their home or buy them their dream home, right? But as you grow and scale, you can't do all this yourself, right? So there's more people to follow up with. There's more people to nurture. So what you want to do, you want to have a CRM in place, email marketing in place, text messaging in place, and then you obviously want to have outsourced to maybe a virtual assistant, maybe to a marketing company. So as real estate agents scale, the concept is the same. You're still connecting and serving sellers and buyers, but the technical point of all this changes. So your nurturing program is going to grow, your team is going to grow, and then you just want to kind of leverage the time, people, and technology in order to build that thriving business. Am I making sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I just know that the average agent, they're going to be 100% overwhelmed because, one, we told them they got to do something in two directions, right? You got to go horizontal and vertical at the same time. So I know Absolutely. They get their mind. They like, what? Wait, hold on, just stop right there. Yeah, so it does make sense to me. And you keep. I think you've painted a great realistic picture. When you first get started, these are some of the things you're going to have to do yourself until because you need some money, right? Because you're going to need some different tools like that customer relationship management, email, text messaging, all of these systems. You don't have to buy them in advance, but you definitely have a monthly charge to use them. Some of them you can get for free, but you still got to learn it, right?
Right.
So I have the great idea that you do all of this for real estate professionals. Am I correct in that? Oh, you do all this because guess what?
Yeah, I wrote a book actually, Dominate Real Estate.
Dominate Real Estate, because guess what? Everything you said, you can dominate it because you can't nurture everybody the same. Everyone is not at the same point at the same time. We got to nurture. You got to bring in automation, but then you still need someone to tell you every single day, hey, pick up the phone and call these 10 people. Hey, pick up the phone and do this. So I know you told us about the website, but as a real estate professional, if I wanted to hire you, what products and services do you have? How do I find you online for you to come and set all of this up for me?
Yeah, so I have multiple websites actually. JamesTyler.com is one website, and I do have Dominate.Real Estate, another website, and I do have marketingengines.com. So the services I offer is, first of all, I have the book, Dominate.Real Estate. I highly recommend every real estate agent to read it. It's a 20-year of past experience put into this book. The information is in there is a complete step-by-step guide to build a thriving real estate business from A to Z. It could be overwhelming for people maybe starting up, but take what you can out of it. You don't have to do everything there, but I've got almost everything for you at your fingertips. But take what you kind of comprehend out of it and implement it. Just take action and move forward with that, and I guarantee they will succeed. So the book is there. The audiobook is actually being launched right now, so it'll probably be available before the end of the year. And there's a workbook that's going to be available next month after that. The second services that I kind of transition people into is coaching. So I want to help them. I want to guide them. I recommend every real estate agent. It doesn't have to be me. Just have somebody that mentors you, or just have someone that coaches you and kind of guides you in the right path, because that will save tons of time and tons of money. You know, if someone has been there, done that, coaching is an absolute must. Everybody that's successful has a coach. I have a coach. I bet you do as well. So coaching is greatly helpful. And then I obviously, for marketingengines.com, I have a marketing agency. I offer marketing services for real estate agents and mortgage loan officers. So I have a full-on spectrum of different services to help real estate agents succeed. If you're starting out, get the book, read it, implement some of the strategies. If you want to kind of start going forward, hire a coach, and then when you have a little bit more budget, outsource to either virtual assistants. Like My Outdesk is a great company I highly recommend. And if you want to go even further, hire a marketing company that does all these different content for you, the automation, the funnels, the data, the sourcing, the cleaning of the data, the management of the database. I mean, there is just so much that goes into a successful business, and it takes a top producer years to get there, right? You start small and you start learning one piece at a time, and that takes years. And sometimes it's better to just hand it to someone that just knows, but obviously that comes with a cost. So if you're starting out, learn, read books, watch webinars like this, and then go into coaching, and then after that go into outsourcing, and after that into hiring in the marketing. Because at the end of the day, like, it starts with, so you have research and development department. If you look at like the big 500 Fortune companies, right? They have a research and development company departments, and then they go into business development, and then they go into marketing, and then they go into sales, and then operations, and then HR, right? So research and so if we want to transition that into real estate, research and development is where you go and source your data from Remind, and then you transition that into business development. This is where you go build awareness and kind of generate demand, introducing yourself, matching buyers with sellers, putting yourself out there, doing the like, here I exist as a real estate agent. That's building awareness, sharing things on social media, doing like a blog article. This is all to build awareness, right? Just to kind of put your word out there, put your brand out there. And then from there, you're moving into marketing. This is where you're building your nurturing programs, you're serving ads and so on and so forth. And then you're moving into sales. This is when you have your ISA, the qualification, and setting the appointments, right? And then going on appointments and getting that deal, that contract signed, right? So this is moving into operations now. This is where the transaction is in place. It's being, in process and to be closed. And after that, you're getting paid. That's moving to HR, payroll, finances. So if you really think about your business, there's all these 6 different departments, from research and development all the way to HR. So if you're starting out, you have to really think big. You're doing all these 6 by yourself. And every department has these intricate different strategies you have to execute, and the objectives that you have to meet in order to transition from research and development into business development, into marketing, to sales, into like getting that paycheck. So if you're thinking big, like a multi-million-dollar corporation, you're really doing all this. And then as you scale, you're kind of letting others do each piece of that. And you want to get to a point where you're only out on appointments getting signed contracts, and that's it. That's really what you want to do as a real estate agent. That's your job. Your job is getting on appointments, getting contracts signed, and moving people into their homes, or selling people's homes, or serving that need that they have. Your job is not really to dabble with Facebook ads or try to source data and clean data and verify email addresses, build nurturing programs. I mean, by all means, if you want to learn all that, that's great. But that's really not what you're doing in real estate, right? So does that make sense what I'm trying to do here?
Oh, yes. And let me say this. As you were spelling it out, I realized all the hats that we have to wear. But if you are owning a corporation, right, or LLC, then you need all of it, because every day we're doing R&D, business development, marketing, sales, and operations. I'm like, oh God, I just got worn out just thinking about all the little things we do. But that at the moment, as soon as time permits, you should implement a strategy to hire people. And here would be the potential problem. As this money is coming in, we're not setting enough money aside in order to set our business up like a business.
Yes, I agree.
And this is everything that goes into a real business.
And you know, Marky, the issue sometimes with that also, as a real estate agent or an entrepreneur or any person that's just getting into business, they don't know how much work that takes in the beginning to build that momentum, because the research and development, the business development, the marketing, this is where most of the work is done. This is the most critical thing, because if these three departments fail, the business, there's no way you can build momentum. There's no way you're going to excel and succeed. So the heavy focus really is on those three departments. And the problem with most that get in the business, they get in the business and they jump right into marketing, and that's wrong. You still have two departments that you're missing out about, because if you're not building awareness, how are you going to generate leads? Jumping into marketing right away, you're just going to have to dump a lot of money in order to generate that lead, right? So that's why a lot of people, they just get into business and buy leads, because they're skipping through all these and they're jumping right into sales and starting at the sales step, right? Because you can buy it or you can build it. So all these we're talking about is how you build a thriving business, because that's the smart thing to do in the long run, because it's not feasible to just keep buying leads, right? It's
that to me, but there are some people,
right?
There are some people that's all they do, and they never get out of that rut because they don't do any nurturing.
They don't build that. They don't build that business, right? So they keep buying leads, which is okay if you have the budget, right, and you have the capability of doing so. But if you're starting out, you may not have that limit, that budget to buy leads. So what you want to do is you want to kind of start building and getting money in, so you can build that thriving business. And being omnipresent is also part of it. Is buy leads. You could buy leads. You could, source it yourself. Different strategies in place, but at the end of the day, it's all about connecting with people, and it comes down to data, content, and technology. Learn the different data that's out there and use it to your advantage. Learn about the different technologies that out there and use it to your advantage, and really put as much content as possible out there. So content, you were asking earlier about content, and it. If I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you, I can be recording myself, and this is content. If I'm actually going on an open house, I can be recording myself, and that's content. I can come back and blog about my experience at an open house or an event that I was at and what I've learned from it and what my audience can learn from what I've learned. This is content. So everything we do to record what you're doing every day, and that's content, because we're always doing something, and whatever you were doing, we're learning something, and that something could transition into valuable content to our audience. Does that make sense?
Yes. So the data, the content, and the technology, but one thing you said that resonates, you can buy it or you can build it. And your long-term return on investment, you will get a substantially ROI, better ROI if you build it.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's what real estate agents should focus on, is to build it, to have it for themselves, because now they get the opportunity to go to the Remind and scrub that list. They understand those pain points in the buying and selling process in their communities, so they can build these nurturing campaigns out. But what I'm seeing is that there's going to be coming back to marketing, there's going to be a cohesive brand awareness for you and what you do, and there's no disconnect in that brand because all of the communications has been with you from start to finish.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. So if it was something different that I should do in 2020 to be successful, what is the one thing you think the real estate agent should do?
Write down a complete strategy to generate traffic and leads.
Write it down.
Almost every real estate agent comes to me for coaching. they do not have a written strategy down. When I ask what your goals are for 2020, they are not concise and clear. Oh, I just want to close 10 deals a month. Okay, how are you going to get there? Then there's a silence. So write down your strategy. And if you need help with that, you can just Google how to write a strategy to generate online traffic and high quality leads. How to write a strategy to generate online traffic and high quality leads. There's tons of resource online, but at the end of the day, it starts with your goal, right? And in my book, I talked about SMART squared, SMART with 4 T's, in putting a SMART goal in place. And it comes, okay, so you see the end in mind, where you want to be, and walk back from there to reality. And write that strategy, because once you start writing, when you decide I want to write the strategy, you would have no idea what you want to do. But once you start, your mind will start, okay, this is what I need next. This is what I need next. And you research, and this is what I need next. And but before you know it, you have a complete, concise strategy that gets your dreams fulfilled. And whenever you're doing this, and whenever you're doing anything that has to do with you, remember, as a real estate agent or as an entrepreneur, it's not about you. It's about the customer. So always think about their dreams, their desires, their wants, and what they need. And then remember what you have as being you. What's unique about you? What values do you have? Leverage what you have, whether it's expertise, whether it's knowledge, whether it's technology. It could be as simple as your network, like people that you know. Like here's the top things that I would want people to remember here that it's listening to this. You need to connect with people. That's number one. And you connect with people by providing value first, and don't expect anything in return. Just throw goods out there, right? So when you want to provide value for free, and use that value to connect with people. And then the next thing you want to do is become a liaison. Connect people with other people in your network. So go and reach out to sellers or buyers or your potential audience and say, hey, I have a network of partners, and whether you need a carpet cleaner, a carpet cleaner, or any type of a business that a potential home buyer needs, or a seller, reach out to them. Say, I have people in my network. Can I refer you someone? Do you need anyone that I can refer you to you? Because becoming a liaison, when you connect people with other people, they will remember you. And the third step, after you connect with people or connect people with others, leverage time, data, technology, and content to thrive and succeed in your business.
Okay, so we're going to leverage that data and content in order to, you said, thrive and succeed, right?
Yes.
In our business. I want you to give the people your website one more time so that they can connect with you, so that you can put this together for them.
Dominate.real estate.
Dominate.real estate. Well, James, I thank you, because this is a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot. But the beautiful thing is you have a system that you can implement for realtors in order for them to do all of this and dominate online. This is real, right? This is real things that people are doing every single day. So if you don't know, save your money, come up with that plan, hire James, come in, and they will take care of it for you. And once again, that website is dominate.real estate. Real estate is the URL. Start with dominate.real estate. Well, James, I thank you for your time and your energy today, and for educating my audience, because they got an education today.
I hope so. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.